Hey, what's up, guys? I'm always on the search for sort of the rare, the unusual, and the strange. It's especially fun to look through seasons for which we have complete box score covers and just sort of take a look and see what happens. So I'll show you what I found here today. This isn't a Tigers and Yankees game. This is rather a Senators and Yankees game. And this is one that the Yankees won 20-5. So remember, the Yankees and the Red Sox at the end of 49 and wound up tied for first place. So this game was actually important, though I don't think that maybe after they scored 12 runs, they had to try so hard. A couple of things that I'll point out here, which is, first of all, while there were a bunch of substitutions for the Yankees, this is after Joe DiMaggio was back, there weren't really as many as you would think. So Snuffy came on for Coleman. Charlie Silvera came on eventually for Yogi Berra. And remember, there was a second game of the doubleheader that was pending. Yankees got off to this huge 12-run advantage in the third inning. Paul Calvert only lasted 2 innings. And this is the thing that I kind of wanted to talk about in this game, which is sort of the way that the pitching changes here worked, right? So Calvert was going okay for the Senators, sort of. I mean, the very first inning, maybe not so much. There were 2 walks given up there, but it worked anyway. Runners on a first and second, and then Yogi Berra grounded out. Second inning was relatively quiet, just a single by Coleman. And the third inning is where it happened. I mean, you got 2 walks leading this off, Rizzuto, and then Mapes. Told you Cliff Mapes was a great player. And then here was Bobby Brown hitting a double, and then DiMaggio reaching on an air, Yogi Berra hitting a double. So by that time, it's 4-0. And then comes the pitching change. You probably could argue that Calvert was taken out a little bit too early, right? I'm not certain that if it's me managing, I would take him out with the score only 4-0. Especially since, 2 of those runs were unearned. But, so it is. They put in Dick Welteroth, who we've seen, and Welteroth proceeds to walk Charlie Keller and Joe Collins. Then Jerry Coleman comes up and walks, and that scores another run. So now it's 5-0, and then comes Ollie Reynolds, hits a single to left. That was a pop fly to short left. I'm not quite sure how that fell in for a single. But, however, it happened... Clyde Fulmer comes in to replace Bud Stewart in left field, and then the Senators put in a new shortstop. Coleman was picked off of second base afterwards, which is interesting. And the real interesting thing about this is that Reynolds makes it to second base on that play. I'm going to have to go look and take a look in a second, I think, at the description of this game. Rizzuto then hits a single. And there's a walk to Mapes, and so Welteroth clearly doesn't have it, despite the fact that he picked off that runner. I mean, he's given up 4 walks and 2 hits. So not exactly the best outing in the world. Up comes Julio Gonzalez, and he proceeds to walk in a run, gives up a fly ball to left that scores a run, and then walks another guy, and walks another guy. So 4 walks from him, and up comes finally Buzz Dozier, who goes the rest of the way. And he proceeds to walk the first guy that he faces after that, too. That's what adds up to those 12 runs. Interesting thing to see here, though, is that Dozier then pitches the rest of the game, right? So there's not the sort of thing that you have these days where we keep replacing the pitcher with pinch hitters and all this other stuff because the game's out of reach, right? These 2 guys pitched only 1/3 of an inning, but they only pitched 1/3 of an inning because they couldn't get the ball over the plate. Interesting to see that Ollie Reynolds only went 7 innings. He walked 1, struck out 4. I'm guessing that they were trying to save Reynolds probably. So we'll check that out in a second. Game 2 of the doubleheader, by the way, only went 6 innings. It's kind of hard to replicate that in Diamond Mine for what was technically a day game. This is almost certainly, was rescheduled from rain. This one was almost certainly, though, ended by darkness is what I'm guessing. And there's not really too much to say about this. Nothing really odd going on except for Joe Page coming in a little bit earlier than expected. That's mostly, I think, because the Senators started to come back in the 6th inning, yeah. So Ortiz hit a double, and then Robinson hit another double, and that's when Joe Page comes in. There was a single, and then a ground ball, and then a double play, and that did it. So pretty interesting thing to look at. But now let's go over here to our favorite, newspapers.com. We're going to take a quick look and see what the New York papers have to say. I could go over to the New York Times if I really wanted to, but it's kind of a pain to get all the way over there. We want to look here on September 12th. It's going to be 1949. Let's just take a look and see what they have to say. So this is one of those double headers that we're probably not going to end up playing through, and the reason why is because I'm doing the as scheduled schedule, not the as played. So Yanks win first, Sox lose 2. This has got to be for the game the day before. Yeah. Oh, here you go. So no, this is the second game was called because of darkness, but they didn't have down that this counted. I'm not sure that this game actually counted in the standings or not. I don't know. So here it says that it is a final. I'm not sure though why it was this way here. Whatever the reason, we'll go back and we'll take a quick look and see what it is that they have to say about it. And let's see. Yeah, man, Pee Wee Reese's elbow may be broken. Interesting. We'll get to that when we get to this point of the season. Yeah, win nightcap. So they did win, but it wasn't in time to get it up there at the first. On the first page or on the back page, a dozen runs scored in that frame of the inning, which took 50 minutes to play. The final score was 20-5, and Washington outfielder Ellie Stewart was carried from the field after a collision during the Walkathon, but which is during that inning. But X-rays showed that he only had chest and neck bruises. That would have been Washington's left fielder, right? Yeah, Stewart was in left field, and that was on that play, that pitch, that single that bounced in. There was a little pop-up. So real interesting stuff here to look at this. They blast 4 different pitchers in that inning. And so that explains exactly what happened there. And it was just nothing but base on balls, base on balls, base on balls, right? And here you go, Yank Walkathon. And this is the complete description of how the Yankees were able to get so many runs. So there you go. And interesting to look at, interesting to go back and to see this sort of thing happen and to see sort of what the reporting was like. This is another one of the reasons why I always tell you that, it's interesting. While it's fun to go look at a bunch of box scores and look at a bunch of stats and stuff, it's always interesting. It's always more interesting, I should say, to go back and to really read about what happened and go find out what the papers were saying, what the press was saying, and you'll find out things about the game that you didn't know happened before. But there you go. That's about how serious bases on balls were in 1949. Makes me wonder if there weren't a whole bunch of games where you had a bunch of walks kind of clumped in together like that. I don't know if the pitches were really outside of the zone or what exactly was happening, but 12 runs in a single inning is nothing to scoff at, and 20-5, and your left fielder was injured is pretty serious. Anyway, there you have it, and we'll leave it at that for you today. I will talk with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.